It's the year 2511, and you enter the galaxy not as a citizen, not as a child with choices, but as a data point in ONI's ledger. Your parents call it a blessing. A healthy baby, lungs strong, eyes wide. The government calls it something else, genetically viable, across 800 colony worlds. ONI's databases scan every newborn. Yours light up like a beacon, reflexes, learning potential, adaptability. Perfect for the project they don't dare speak of. You'll never know it, but before you can walk, a silent file is opened in your name, stamped with 3 letters, Spartan-II. The irony? The galaxy celebrates the birth of every new colonist as hope for the future. For you, birth was a death sentence. Because you don't get to choose greatness. In the 26th century, greatness kidnaps you in the night. You're 6 years old, playing in the schoolyard on Elysium City, Reach, or Jericho 7, the details don't matter. Childhood ends the same way everywhere. 2 men in crisp uniforms arrive. They kneel, smiling, and tell you your parents have been in an accident. You need to come quickly. You believe them because what child wouldn't? The truth is far darker. You're sedated before you can cry, while your body is hauled onto a transport. Another body, your body, walks back into your family's home, a flash clone. Grown in a lab in weeks, designed to mimic you down to your favorite lullaby. Your mother holds it, still trembling from fear, and swears she feels something's wrong. She's right. Within a year, the clone will collapse into seizures and organ failure. The inevitable decay of unstable replication. She'll bury a child who isn't you. She'll grieve for a son or daughter who never really lived. And she'll never know you race still alive, being broken and remade by the Office of Naval Intelligence. Because to the world, you died in childhood. To ONI, you were just getting started. Your new home is Reach, of humanity's military citadel, a planet of steel mountains, weapon forges, and endless training fields. To civilians, it's a fortress world. To you, it's a cage. Day 1, they strip your name. You're not Daniel, Nora, Kai. You're Subject 071, a number etched into your uniform and your brain. Childhood doesn't end here. It's deleted. The schedule is relentless. At dawn, you're thrown out of bunk for a 5-mile run, not a jog, but a sprint. Failed to finish in time. Your entire squad pays for it with extra punishment, and they'll hate you for it. Breakfast is a slurry of barley porridge, beans, and a chalky bone ash drink, believed to strengthen your skeleton. Roman gladiators ate the same thing. You earn their old nickname, Hordery, the barley men. The wooden rifles and swords they give you are deliberately heavier than steel. The logic is simple: if you can swing these until your arms collapse, real weapons will feel weightless. You drill until vomit stains the sand, then drill again. Above you to shadows rule Chief Petty Officer Franklin Mendez, the human wall of scars who barks orders until your throat burns just echoing them, and Dr. Catherine Halsey, the scientist who designed this program and watches you like you're a lab rat that also happens to bleed. Mendez teaches you how to fight. Halsey teaches you why. Neither cares that you're 6 years old. That's the point, because this isn't a school, it's a Ludus gladiator barracks. And what they're teaching you isn't how to win. It's how to die with precision, on command, and in formation. Somewhere between the bruises and the drills, the children around you stop being strangers. They become the only family you'll ever know. The instructors don't call it that, of course. They call it squad cohesion, but for you and the others, it's survival. You share bunks, rations, punishments. When one of you fails, all of you pay extra miles in the cold, push-ups until your arms give out, nights locked in the dark. At first, you hate each other for it. Then, slowly, you learn to move like one body. You take an oath, half drilled, half ritual, to be burned, bound, beaten, and killed by the sword. It isn't poetry. It's the blunt reality of what's waiting. You repeat it until the words blur into muscle memory, another command stitched into your DNA. The first squad games are designed to fracture you. Capture the flag drills where the losing team runs barefoot through snow. Obstacle courses where tripping costs your whole squad a meal. Rivalries cut deep. kids claw at each other for approval, for survival. But in the cracks of competition, loyalty hardens. The scar on your knee came from a teammate shoving you out of a tripwire. The bruises on your ribs from a brawl with another squad that tried to humiliate yours. By the time you're 8, you realize something grim. Your squad mates aren't just friends. They're replacements for the family you'll never see again. Brothers and sisters forged in blood, bound by pain. And you all know the truth. This is the only school on Reach where graduation means you're buried. By the time you turn 14, you've already endured more pain than most soldiers see in a lifetime. But nothing prepares you for the next step. It isn't training anymore. It's surgery. You're marched into sterile chambers beneath Reach's military complex, lined with steel tables and med tech that hums like execution machines. The doctors call it augmentation. You'll come to call it what it is: mutilation disguised as science. The first cut is your bones. Surgeons inject a carbide ceramic layer into your skeleton, fusing it with material harder than steel. Every nerve in your body screams. It feels like your marrow is glass, shattering and reforging at once. Many don't wake from this part alone. Then come the muscle protein grafts, protein polymers injected directly into your muscles to increase density. The serum hits your bloodstream like fire. Your veins burn as if they've been filled with napalm, your body convulsing under straps while your heart races toward collapse. 5% die right there, heart rate too fast to control. Next, the catalytic thyroid implant. A platinum pellet is shoved into your throat, designed to hijack your endocrine system and flood your body with growth hormones. Bones lengthen naturally, muscles tear and rebuild faster than nature ever intended. The pain: imagine your skeleton trying to outgrow your skin, and you're not far off. Then they reach your eyes. Occipital capillary reversal. They rewire blood vessels behind your retinas, boosting circulation to give you sharper vision and faster target acquisition. You wake screaming, eyelids crusted with blood. The risk: permanent blindness. Many stumble out of the theater unable to see anything but red. Finally, the most terrifying of all: neural rewiring. Your nervous system is stripped and rebuilt with superconducting fibers. Every reflex tripled. Every synapse firing like lightning. You should feel faster. Instead, you feel broken. Your body spasms, your hands twitch, your brain struggles to control the monster they've created. Survivors talk about the sensation like fire crawling up the spine, eating every nerve. When it's over, you're no longer the same species you were at 13. Of the 75 children who entered the program, 42 are dead or crippled beyond recovery. Only 33 remain. That number becomes burned into your skull. The survivors are the lucky ones, if you can call it that. You learn to walk again like infants, stumbling with legs that don't feel like yours. Every movement is agony. Your body relearning balance with bones and muscles it was never meant to have. Your headaches are constant. Your vision flickers. You collapse in corridors with seizures. And yet, the instructors smile, because this is success. The Spartans who live are no longer children. Their weapons wrapped in scar tissue. When the augmentations finally stabilize, you don't recognize yourself. You stand taller, heavier, broader. Your bones are reinforced with ceramic plating. Your muscles rewoven until they hum with a natural density. Ordinary Marines look like children beside you. You sprint down a Reach training field at 55 km/h fast enough to leave warthogs choking in dust. You drop into push-ups, and the ground cracks beneath your hands. In the weight room, you lift 3 times your own body weight without breaking form. The instructors measure your reflexes, 20 milliseconds. A trigger is pulled, and before the bullet leaves the chamber, you've already moved. On paper, you're perfect. In reality, you're broken. The migraines never stop, flashes of white that split your skull. Every bone aches as if it's still healing, because in truth, it never really does. Your joints creak under their new weight. Your nerves fire too fast for your body to keep up. At night you wake drenched in sweat, hands spasming, teeth grinding. The medics call it adaptation. You know it's punishment. And when you catch your reflection in a steel locker, you see it clearly. You're not human anymore. You're a machine dressed in flesh. A prototype wrapped in scars. A weapon first, a child never. You were meant to be better than human. Instead, you became something worse, a human rebuilt only to kill. Your first deployment comes in 2525, not against aliens, not against monsters, against farmers. The United Earth government doesn't tell you much, only that the outer colonies are rebelling. Planets like Eridanus-II harvest, and Malmor, families sick of Earth's taxes. Miners demanding independence, civilians who want freedom from the UNSC boot. You and your squad drop from orbit like gods, clad in gray fatigues, helmets low. The rebels are waiting with hunting rifles and homemade bombs. They're not soldiers. They're colonists, parents, children, people who, hours earlier, were tending crops or fixing water pumps. It doesn't matter. Orders are orders. You breach their compounds in the dark, silencers on, blades ready. You paint the walls with blood. You drag rebel leaders from their bunks, put bullets in their heads, and leave their families screaming in the dirt. Entire uprisings collapse overnight. To the UNSC, it's victory. To the outer colonies, it's horror. Civilians begin to whisper in fear. They're not soldiers. They're demons. And the truth cuts deepest of all. You were told you'd be humanity's last defense against an alien threat. Instead, your first blood is human. You weren't trained to save mankind. You were trained to break it. The year is 2525. Humanity's expansion has stretched across nearly 800 worlds, and for a moment, it feels unstoppable, until harvest goes silent. At first, the UNSC thinks it's rebellion again, another outer colony revolt. Then the first recon fleet arrives, and what they find isn't rebellion, it's annihilation. 3 million civilians are gone. Farms turned to glass. Cities reduced to ash. The planet itself scarred black from orbit. The enemy reveals itself. Covenant, an alien alliance forged in religion, native species humanity has never seen. Elites, armored giants with energy swords. Jackals, mercenaries with shields and plasma rifles. Grunts, cowardly but endless in number. Hunters, walking tanks of living worms bound into armor. Together, they're centuries ahead of human technology. The first fleets sent to fight them are shredded in minutes. Orbital stations vaporized, marines incinerated in their foxholes. Humanity, so proud of its reach across the stars, suddenly realizes its prey. This is the war Spartans were made for. And when you're deployed to the front, something terrifying happens. The aliens see you. They study how you fight, how you kill, how you don't break. And they give you a name whispered in their guttural tongues, demon. Irony, Oni had called you demons in whispers to terrify colonists. Now the Covenant does the same, but in fear, not propaganda. The curse became prophecy. Humanity's executioners have finally met their match, and for the first time in your short, broken life, you almost feel like you have a purpose. By 2531, the truth about Spartans can't be contained anymore. Oni steps out from the shadows and parades you and your brothers as the face of victory. Posters plaster colony walls. Propaganda reels show you charging through smoke like an avenging god. Children carry action figures of you, while their parents whisper about what you really are. To civilians, you're saviors. To the Covenant, you're demons. To Oni, you're just their weapon, and weapons don't retire. Your body is no longer yours. It belongs to the Mjolnir armor, a walking tank that costs as much as a starship. The neural link binds to your brainstem so closely that you can tell where the machine ends and your flesh begins. To move the armor is to move yourself. But if the link misfires, seizures, blindness, or death, you bleed in silence, broken bones set under steel plates, migraine drills inside your skull. And the irony is brutal. They call you a legend, but legends don't wake up screaming in med bays. Legends don't bleed this much. You're not a soldier anymore. You're the idea of one. By 2552, the human covenant war is at its peak. Billions are dead, colonies turn to glass, and Spartans, fewer than 40, remain operational. Most never live past 30. But you won't find graves for the fallen. Oni marks every dead Spartan as a Maya missing in action. The myth must remain unbroken. Humanity must believe you can't be killed. The irony is sharp enough to cut. You were kidnapped, broken, stripped of family, rebuilt into a machine, and yet in death, you became immortal, not as yourself, but as the faceless symbol of survival. Why did it suck being a Spartan? Because you weren't human anymore. You were humanity's last lie. Would you have survived Spartan training or died trying? Subscribe, because history isn't just in books. Sometimes, it's written in blood and steel.